It's not long since billionaires were competing to get to the edge of space. Now, the first set of private citizens are getting ready to take a SpaceX shuttle up to the International Space Station ISS. Space is a vast place of study. As the days are going by, astronomers and scientists are becoming more fluent in exploring space. To overcome space, the space agencies have to work on different missions, and currently, space has been a common interest to every country. Each country is working on harmony to explore space and take part in the activities. Did you know there is a space station in space which is international? This year, NASA had taken part to keep the harmony with International Space Station or ISS with its Ax-1 mission. In this video we will know about the Ax-1 mission to ISS. Let's dive into it. Recently, NASA has launched Ax-1 mission to ISS. The launch took place on April 2022. Axiom Mission 1, or Ax-1, was a privately funded and operated crewed mission to the International Space Station ISS. The mission was operated by Axiom Space out of Axiom's Mission Control Center MCC in Houston, Texas. The flight launched on the 8th of April 2022 from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The spacecraft used was a SpaceX Crew Dragon. If you have got interest about space and spacecrafts, you must know about SpaceX. SpaceX is a privately owned space company owned by Elon Musk, currently holding the first position among world's richest men. SpaceX was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk with the goal of reducing space transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars. SpaceX manufactures the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles, several rocket engines, Cargo Dragon, crew spacecraft, and Starlink communications satellites. SpaceX is developing a satellite internet constellation named Starlink to provide commercial internet service. In January 2020, the Starlink constellation became the largest satellite constellation ever launched, and as of May 2022 it comprises over 2,400 small satellites in orbit. Starlink has been criticized by some astronomers due to concerns over light pollution. Additionally, it has also been criticized over the long-term danger from orbital debris resulting from possible space collisions. The company is also developing Starship, a privately funded, fully reusable, super heavy lift launch system for interplanetary and orbital space flight. Starship is intended to become SpaceX's primary orbital vehicle once operational, supplanting the existing Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon fleet. Starship will have the highest payload capacity of any orbital rocket ever built on its debut, scheduled for 2022 pending regulatory approval. SpaceX is very much potent with high-quality spacecrafts which are durable and safe. Also, SpaceX's manufactured rockets are admired by many other companies. For the Ax-1 mission, NASA took one of the SpaceX-built Crew Dragon. This private space flight to ISS was operated by Axiom Space. Axiom Space was founded in 2016 with the goal of creating the world's first commercial space station. In early 2020, NASA announced that Axiom had been granted access to the forward port of the ISS Harmony module, to which Axiom plans to berth the first node of the Axiom orbital segment, a complex that could grow to 5 pressurized modules after 2024 with a large observation window similar to the current cupola mounted on the Natter side of Tranquility. Moreover, his new addition to the ISS will be able to facilitate the company's activities in low Earth orbit. Prior to the first module's launch as early as 2024, Axiom planned to organize and fly crewed missions to the ISS, consisting of either paying private astronauts or astronauts from public agencies or private organizations. In March 2020, Axiom announced they would charter a flight to the ISS with SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft as early as late 2021. This mission is the first wholly commercially operated crewed mission to the ISS and one of the first dedicated orbital private crew missions. Axiom Space's Ax-1 mission was scheduled to launch from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Ax-1 is the first of several planned Axiom missions to the International Space Station and an important step toward Axiom's goal of constructing a private space station in low Earth orbit that can serve as a global academic and commercial hub. Now, let's look at the mission itself. The mission launched at 11:17 EDT on the 8th of April 2022. The total duration of the mission was 17 days, 1 hour, 49 minutes. It launched atop a Falcon 9 Block 5 launch vehicle from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39AD, a NASA-owned launch pad leased to SpaceX for Falcon 9 launches. Axiom Mission 1 Falcon 9 Block B1062.5 plus Crew Dragon Endeavour LC-39 on left for pre-launch preparations. The mission is being flown aboard Crew Dragon Endeavour, which previously supported the Crew Dragon Demo 2 and SpaceX Crew 2 missions. From there, the spacecraft spent less than a day in transit to the station and dock with Harmony, where they were planned to spend 10 days aboard the International Space Station ISS. Following their time on the ISS, the spacecraft undocked with plans to return to Earth via splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean. Bad weather in the landing zone delayed the return. As a result, the crew spent 16 days docked to the ISS for a total of 17 days in orbit. During their days aboard the ISS, the private crew conducted more than 25 different research experiments. The first day of launching Ax-1 was streamed live by SpaceX. During the stream, the Crew Dragon Endeavour landed 5 times on Earth successfully, and then finally went for the 17-day-long mission. Ax-1 mission was conducted with a crew of 4 members. The crew of 4 was Axiom's multinational private astronauts who traveled in a SpaceX Crew Dragon. During their 16-day mission, the crew was supposed to spend 8 days on the International Space Station conducting scientific research. However, the space travelers had spent 16 days in space and performed a series of science experiments and studies on the space station while also enjoying the commercial space flight experience. The Ax-1 mission was commanded by retired NASA astronaut Michael Lope as Allegria, with real estate investor Larry Connor as the pilot, and Canadian investor Mark Pathy and former Israeli fighter pilot Titan Stib as mission specialists. Lope as Allegria is Axiom's vice president of business development, while the other 3 are passengers whose trips were paid for by other organizations. Michael Lope as Allegria, commander for Ax-1, is a former NASA astronaut of 3 space shuttle missions and the commander of ISS Expedition 14 on his 4th, during which he flew on a Russian Soyuz. Then, Larry Connor, pilot for Ax-1, has flown 16 different aircraft including fighter jets. Connor is also familiar with piloting helicopters and race car driving. He has won 5 aerobatic competitions and participated in several U.S. National Aerobatic Championships. Mark Pathy, mission specialist for Ax-1, is the CEO and chair of the sustainable investment company MRVIK of Montreal, Canada. Titan Stib, mission specialist for Ax-1, is the founding partner of the Vital Capital Impact Investment Fund, among other ventures. He was previously a fighter pilot for the Israel Air Force IAF and flight instructor at the Israel Air Force Flight Academy. Each of them shared their experience of their first Ax-1 mission after successfully landing on Earth. After 17 days in space, Dragon and Axiom Space's Ax-1 crew safely splashed down off the coast of Florida at 1:06 p.m. ET on Monday, April 25, 2022, completing Axiom's first human space flight and the first all-private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. Falcon 9 launched Dragon and the Ax-1 crew to the orbiting laboratory on Friday, April 8 at 11:17 a.m. ET from Launch Complex 39 at DLC-39 at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It was a great success for NASA and SpaceX. It was one of the significant achievements in space agencies. The Ax-1 mission is the first part of a plan by Axiom Space to produce the first private space station. This is no small feat. ISS itself had to be built in pieces, then sent up to be constructed in space. The total mass of a 420-ton space station simply isn't feasible to launch into space in one trip. For comparison, this is the same as launching 70 James Webb Space Telescopes at once. A lot of private firms is trying to make a decision on whether to pursue their own programs after watching the Ax-1 mission. The success of Ax-1 mission means that there could suddenly be an influx of investment and plans for future space station modules or entire stations. If this is the case, space agencies will have to accept that they will not be able to compete with the private sector. Instead, they would be wise to focus on renting private space and performing open access research. Ax-1 mission was a very positive and welcoming step forwards. It is usually the case that space agency collected data is made available to researchers. If private researchers are willing to do the same, then it heralds an age of accelerated research and technology. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments sections.